That's right.
Welcome back. You're watching Prime Morning. It's still News Flash, and we're about to get into a number of the newspapers and also get a sense of what they are saying. After that, we'll bring you that special love letter, if you want to call it, that we have for the president on Galamsey. And of course, this series that we are producing here at Multimedia on Galamsey, dear Mahama, Stop Galamsey, and we'll be bringing you that after the newspaper review. But welcome on board. My name is Razak Muspa, and I would love to hear from you in the course of the show. Please do send us your comments, stay interactive with us. Let's hear from you on all the things that we'll be talking about. But let's start with the newspapers, and just before we do that, I do have my very amazing guest in studio. Senyo is back in studio, and Senyo, of course, is a communication team member of the MPP. And today also we've got Matthias. He is Voter Regional Youth Organizer of the NDC, and he joins us in the studio. Guys, good morning. Good morning. And good to have you.
Good to have you too. It's great to be here. I think it's my second time.
Interesting. Well, yeah. Senyo, good to have you too.
Good to have you.
You're very much sensitive of the times, isn't it? The pink and the pink, I mean.
Oh, very much so.
During that period, I don't joke with it because whatever we are, promoting, we try as much as possible to, create that awareness for everybody to be aware of breast cancer.
Yeah. I understand you also have interest in the MPP leadership and all of that. Oh, it's early days yet.
It's early days yet,
yeah,
but I think that it's in the public domain. God willing, when the party gives us the opportunity, I think that we would want to serve in that capacity, God willing, and in my region, that is the voter region for that matter, yeah.
We're going head to head with your brother and we'll see.
God willing. I want to believe probably he will be seeking for re-election. So when we get there, we'll cross the head.
Yeah, we'll see. Interesting. All right, let's get to the newspapers now. And I have with me the Insight newspaper. I'm going to start with that now. And the Insight newspaper has got major defections hit Bawumia's camp ahead of MPP 2022-2026 flag bearer race. And it says, Natoshi Addo Safo joined Ken as Top Guns mob Brian. Interesting development there. Addo Safo is mourning his father. Sure, she's been very busy politically, but interesting development there. Then, Education Minister announces government plan to upgrade 10 category B SHS to category A. And then we've got Julius Deborah challenges boards to embrace transparency, guard against political interference. That's when he met some of the board members of the various state institutions. And then, I can't buy Ghana Police Service. Ni Jata refutes bribery accusations by family. And then, Dr. Irene Addo Wolf, the woman leading new era in Ghanaian healthcare, and Palestine International People's Assembly hails ceasefire agreement, salutes masses mobilization against genocide, imperialism, and Zionism. Basically, that's what is on the front page of the newspaper and in the Insight newspaper. Just to mention that Richard has joined us in studio. Richard, leading member of the Movement for Change, who have a very important activity come Thursday, is it? Thursday, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tomorrow, take this one. Take
tomorrow is the big day.
Thursday, right?
Yeah. Which is just tomorrow.
It's the birth of it's the dawn of a new era in the movement for change.
Yeah.
You look excited for it.
Yeah. We need to completely radicalize and revolutionize our political ecosystem because we've been taking for granted for a long period of time. We must change the status quo.
Interesting. Well, Senyo, let me come to you and then just go through the paper you have. You have the publisher, the Ghanaian publisher. All right, what's on the headlines?
Yeah, thank you very much. I have with me the Ghanaian publisher. On the headline, we have Bawumia urges civility. And that could be found on page 3. And then he begins his constituency campaign today. And I think that's starting in the Bono enclave. Then again, we have government deceiving nurses. That is being led by Dr. Nanayu, a free minority. And KGL hails Black Stars for WC World Cup sports. Tano North MC aiding Galamsey royal family. So I think that's what we have on the front page for the Ghanaian publisher.
Well, royal family seems to be accusing the town of MC over Galamsey things there. Really interesting development. I think, what have you got there? Which paper is that?
I got the Accra Times.
The Accra Times. Okay,
Yes,
okay,
yes,
okay.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the major headline here is coming from our beloved Vice President, Professor Nana J. Nopokwajeman, who said Galamsey is a national crisis, and the assurance is that government will stop it. And we also have eulogy to Apostle Dr. Safo Kantanka. It was unique. And yes, on the front page here, we have Honorable Eric Opoku grabs 1.54 million euros to strengthen agric food ecosystems in Ghana. And my brother, friend, and comrade Edwiji Tameklu Esquire, the NPA boss, is here saying the NPA is eager to kickstart the 24-hour economy. A very hardworking, accessible, affable, and a compassionate personality he is. A very nice guy. And we have good news for junior doctors. Health Minister assures is also there. Then I can't buy Ghana Police Service. Need Jata to family. And substandard fuel import allegations. UK investigators exonerate Dangote refinery. Those are some of the headlines.
Yeah, some of the headlines. Richard, you've got the Chronicle, right?
Yeah. Well, the Chronicle says, Bawumia buckles down, starts nationwide tour. We wish him well. Brianna Champo, unstoppable in Accra. I don't know what that means anyway. But Massa, pay the nurses and stop the Tobe minority.
That's an interesting headline, isn't it? Stop the Tobe
and pay. So they say you should stop the Tobe and pay. So
we are paying.
You are paying.
Yes.
Yo, then.
Well, just finally, I have the 24-hour newspaper here, and it's done a feature on the Chief of Staff.
24-hour newspaper.
Yeah, 24-hour newspaper. They said news around the clock.
Guys. It's so funny. 24-hour newspaper.
24-hour newspaper.
This one there is from the Jubilee House.
It has a feature on the Chief of Staff. It's a 2 times Chief of Staff, the Julius Deborah story of impact.
Agenda.
Page 3, it has it there. And of course, Rozak Opoku also has got a feature in the newspaper, and 3,200 unpaid teachers to be paid soon. That's according to the Minister for Education there. So largely, those are some of the stories that have been dominating the headlines in the various newspapers, but also key among them, of course, the matter relating to the nurses. We understand that they are going to be paid very soon. Cabinet has approved for them to be paid and be added to the payroll. So we'll try and get more update on that. But now let's bring you, I call it love letter, but it's a very serious issue. This is from the Joy News desk, and it has to do with Galamsey. It's a feature and a letter to the president.
So let's talk about things we can do to conserve our water bodies. Yes, Angel.
We should avoid illegal mining.
Handsome result. Handsome result. 2 players. Very good.
In this classroom at Kwesi Chukrum Junior High School, lessons on clean water and hygiene are in full swing.
When you destroy our water bodies, now we know that we don't have even access to water. All our water bodies are being destroyed.
For girls like Irajua, a Form 3 pupil, menstruation turns school days into a struggle with fear, discomfort, and no clean water.
It's water crisis. We are not able to get water for our own human resources. And fetching from the Ofa is a bit challenging, especially using to cook, washing, and bathing. And like I am a girl, and using this water when I'm menstruating is a bit difficult for me. But I have to adapt to it because of the crisis here. When there's no water, it's actually a bit challenging. So we adapt to it, but when you get enough water, you have to use it fast for us not getting all those infections and all those bacteria into us. At times, I can't use water because of how the water is, because the water has to be boiled and all those stuffs. So when the water is not boiled and we don't usually use gas here, we use firewood, and I don't have time to boil it, so I have to use the water and come to school early.
Ghana has made strides in girl child education. Enrollment has risen. More girls are staying in school, and conversations around menstrual hygiene have grown louder. But here in Kwesi Chukrom, a water crisis fueled by illegal mining threatens to erode those gains. For months now, taps have run dry following shutdown of the Kwenyako headworks, unable to treat raw water from the heavily polluted Ayensu River. The absence of clean water strips young girls of their dignity and privacy. Inside the classroom, menstruation is silent, but its weight is heavy.
Our menstrual cycle health only perform because of insulin, and I eat gal mining insulin, so I a distraction. We need water to clean our genital parts, to wash so that we can be clean, because we can't just change and use another sanitary pad. It affects us. It can give us infections and all those things.
The Offa Pond is their only source of water. Dirty, murky, and smelling. For girls, this is where menstruation hygiene begins and ends. Some girls simply stay away from school during their period. Others, like Irajwa, endure the discomfort, attending class but unable to focus.
I'm a Form 3 student, and I'm a pair. Yeah, time indoors, so I have to.
Robert Yankee is the science teacher here. He watches over these pupils and sees how the water situation steals both their time and their health.
Assuming there's no water, and then the child or this girl child have or experiences her menses, how will she even clean herself without having access to potable water? Do you want the girl child to use this contaminated water to clean her genital part? It means that she'll be introduced or she'll be prone to more infections.
Nana Kwesi Twi, the fourth, is the chief of Kwesi Chukrom. He sees the daily toll the water crisis takes on his community, and especially its children.
After school, I walk room Hananga so Kolani Yensuno. Tell the baby cry say breaking Kolano. No be a Kufiko Sensu, no the Basan Webiano. Fat, Amama, Ahaya, Papa. Kronanga said, it's a problem if it's pa, a Susem, or make us a pa.
I will need the government to help us with the illegal mining water issue and to put a stop to illegal mining. And we can come to school without being stressed and all those stuff.
The Kwenyako headworks, once the lifeline for this community, shut down after turbidity levels hit almost 95,000. Safe levels are below 50. President John Dramani Mahama is unconvinced to declare a state of emergency on mining, on water bodies and forest reserves.
I've been reluctant to implement a state of emergency in the Galamsey fight because we've not exhausted the powers we even have without a state of emergency.
Here in Kwesi Chukrom, girls like Irajwa live in a constant state of emergency. They are victims of rivers poisoned by illegal mining. If this is not an emergency, Mr. President, what is it?
Yeah, so that's the first of many of our docu-series that you'll be seeing on this platform and on all our multimedia platforms. And today we highlight the impact of this menace on the availability of potable water. And you can see, everybody, the community is adversely affected. And It's one that we need to take as serious as possible, And there was a conversation I had about how, as a country, we are able to rally behind the Black Stars because we want them to qualify for the World Cup. How we are able to rally behind the Black Stars because we want them to qualify for the World Cup. And to a very large extent, we are asking the question, can we borrow that same energy, that same enthusiasm, that same passion in the fight against Galamsey? Rally together as a nation and fight Galamsey in the very same way we rally behind the Black Stars to see them qualify for the World Cup. The way we stormed the Accra Sports Stadium to cheer the Black Stars, void of partisan colorations, everybody was there. Can we have the same energy in dealing with Galamsey? Well, we'll get to talk about it. But also another leg to this conversation that has come up has to do with the cost of fighting Galamsey, because it's not a conversation, it's not something that has been explored extensively. The cost of fighting, how much are we spending or will be needed to sufficiently deal with this menace? The minister says they have spent so much money. In fact, under the President Akufo-Addo time, of course, we don't have the numbers, but you could guess that a lot of money went into it. Now, as far as reclaiming all the lands that have been destroyed by Galamsey, treating our water bodies, and in fact, preventing people from, engaging in the activity, the minister says we will need even more than the entire country's budget. In excess of $10 billion is what we need to reclaim the land, to find the illegal miners, to, dechemicalize our water bodies as it's known to be now. In excess of $10 billion. If that is what it will cost the country, then are we really in a position to deal with it? So we just have to manage it, as some are saying. Well, let me bring my guest in. Richard is here. Richard, good to have you. Once again, Matthias and Senyo is there. And Richard, let me start from you, though, especially on the point about cost. But before that, let's just start on what we saw briefly, the impact of the menace on this community. You heard the students speak. And it's right before us. Sometimes because we are in a crowd, we seem not to feel it as much, but the communities there are suffering.
Well, first of all, I would like to say a very good morning to your cherished viewers, to the entire production team of Joy Prime, to my senior co-panelists, and to Honorable Alan Kojo Chiremante and the entire membership of the Movement for Change. And to my very good people of Ho Central constituency this morning, we say a beautiful day to you. And like I said, a new dawn is about to rise tomorrow. And if tomorrow comes, the entire country will hear about us, the vision, the mission, the core values, what we stand for, what we are bringing onto the table, and how we can make Ghana democracy a better one as to how we have it today. Now, watching this video and looking at the kind of water school children are fetching to go and drink, that should tell you Ghana is a failed state. There's no ambiguity about that. It's completely a failed state. Why is Ghana a failed state? Based on what I have just seen. If you live in a country where you really don't know your scale of preference, you don't have your priority list, you don't put the human needs of the people above your personal interest, then we are running into complete abyss. And we don't have a country to bequeath to the next generation. If you look at the Maslow hierarchy of needs, and you understand that food and water, clothing, shelter, they are the basic things for every human being. Most especially when it comes to water. Human being can survive at least 5 days without food, and you can still survive. It is difficult for human being to survive 5 solid days without having water to drink because you will dehydrate. And when you dehydrate, the next phase of it is that you are going to die. So if we can live in a country where the water that we drink, upon all the money that we are wasting left, right, front, center, wasting on cathedral, wasting on unnecessary things, as a country where communities can't even afford to have borehole water to drink, then what kind of people are we? And then again, we are of the view that since Galamsey is a major contributor to the water crisis that is almost engulfing this country, and if care is not taken, we all know, we are not oblivious of the fact that if we are not careful enough, the next 5 years down the line, we have to import water before we drink. And already we are importing water. A data suggests recently that we are importing water worth over $10 million or $10 billion worth into this country. Now, if you look at the caliber of river bodies that surrounds us, we have destroyed virtually about 80% of it or 90% of it already. The only water or river that the turbidity level is above or is below 10 or below 6, 7 is the Volta Lake. Now we live in a country where we have even given a license for a company to mine on the Black Volta. So obviously the Black Volta and all this one, they have their tributaries all connected together. So what environmental assessment are we even doing for us to allow mining to even take place around the Black Volta? So if we end up as a people the way we are careless about anything. The only thing that matters to us is what comes to our pocket, it comes to our stomach. Because Ghana is made up of so many greedy, selfish individuals, both in politics and both in public service. So if we end up destroying the Volta Lake, bro, which other river do we have? Which other lake do we have that we can say we can process it for a consumable standard for people to drink? Don't forget, Volta Lake as it stands today, people fetch it and drink because the turbidity level is still very appreciable, because the WHO standard for turbidity of water should be around 5 TUC. So it is only the Volta Lake that waves around 5, 6, 7, 10 TUC. So at the end of the day, I say TNU. So at the end of the day, if you are not able to protect the river bodies, then we are in a complete dangerous situation. So again, look at a girl who has to go and fetch this kind of water in order to use to clean herself, clean her genital parts and all these things. And you know how dangerous it is for women to contract all manner of infections. And there are infections, when you contract it, it has other snowballing effects. So when that happens, you are jeopardizing the future of your children because of greed and because of selfishness. Again, I've always been of the view and asking this question: how much is government budgetary allocation towards the fight against Galamsey?
We'll get into that because we'll hear from the minister.
Then again, we are also
shortly
talking about sustainability of all the approaches that we are deploying.
Yeah.
How do we sustain it? NIMOS is not a novelty. The previous government has also instituted many other like radical means that they could combat Galamsey. Did it really work? It didn't work.
Because at this point, even at this moment, we have quite a number of task force, you want to call it. We've got the Blue Water...
The Blue Water Guard,
we had
the police.
We had the police task force, which was later recalled. Then now we have the NIMOS. So quite a number of task force. And like you mentioned, even in the previous administrations, we had similar
things. So it's like we are doing the same thing. Maybe NDC is only trying to repackage what they are doing and name it all manner of names and pride themselves that we have been able to bench and fans, we have confiscated excavators, we have arrested people. Look, hitherto, haven't we heard all these things before? We have. But like I said, it is the traditional authorities who, when you bring them into the picture, I said here the last time that the way government assemble all the CSOs, we heard from them. I am looking forward to the day where the president will assemble all the traditional leaders in any community that Galamsey is taking place.
Well, the last time I had, I came across a statement from some officials of the national security who are indicating that some chiefs are interfering in the work of NIMOS. They are trying to make NIMOS difficult. So the same chiefs that you are inviting...
Yes, that is why, yes, when you invite them, yes...
Are trying to interfere with the work of NIMOS.
Yes,
make it difficult for them.
Yes, so when they come, you see the way it will be a covert conversation, a very covert one. So when we bring them to the Jubilee House or wherever at the Accra Conference Center, assemble them, those of them that we have been able to pinpoint that they are obstructing the work of the anti-Galamsey operatives. We need to find out what is the justification from that on a live camera.
All right, let me come to Matthias. That we'll develop this point because we're going to spend a lot of time on it. I mean, your government with NIMOS, they, of course, you seem to be getting some credit for the work they've been doing, but clearly, it's a long way. It's a long way to go to completely nip this in the bud because the impact of it in our communities is still there.
Thank you very much. And let me also use the opportunity to say good morning to our cherished viewers, especially my youth and the people from the Volta region, to my friend Dr. Mokohini, the Ashanti Regional Minister, one of the most courageous young men who is helping this government achieve its reset agenda, especially in the fight against Galamsey in Ashanti region area. Of course, my friend, brother, Addo, who is doing very well at NPA. And then my own brother, Apechi Awono, a man who is very quiet, but very committed to his work in helping His Excellency the President deliver on his mandate at Boston Aegis. My greetings to all the youth wing of the NDC. Yes, like our Vice President stated, that Galamsey is a national crisis. And let me use the opportunity to commend Joy News for that matter about a commitment to ensure that the light keeps shining on the issue of Galamsey. And collectively, we come together to ensure that we find solution to the menace. But I must be quick to agree with you or to say that Galamsey, the fight against Galamsey is not a sprint. It's a marathon. It is a crisis because you can comfortably compare Galamsey to, let's say, the fight against the drug menace in South America, Colombia, and co., because of the potential danger it holds to the peace and security of our country. Forget about the health implications of everything that has happened. But you see, when the Vice President says that government will stop Galamsey, she is absolutely right, because the key ingredient in the fight against Galamsey, which we didn't have in time past, has to do with the lack of political will. Today, I can tell you, I can provide to the Ghanaian people the ironclad assurance from His Excellency, the President, the Commander-in-Chief, President John Dramani Mahama, whose interest is to see an end to Galamsey. And the effort government is making hangs on about 5 pillars. The number one has to do with stakeholder education and collaboration. I'm sure as a key actor in this space to find solution to Galamsey, you are part of the deliberations that took place at the Flagstaff House not too long ago. And there he stated clearly that he has no interest in Galamsey. And if anybody, including anybody in his administration, is found to be involved in the menace, their fate will be held firmly to the fire of accountability. And that is not a joke. The second pillar has to do about regulatory reforms. Regulatory reforms because, as we speak right now, there's efforts by the Attorney General to scrap the existing law that grants licenses for people to mine in our forest reserves. What government is seeking to do now is to introduce new legislation to ban mining in water bodies and forest reserves completely. And when that is done, it simply means that when your drones can find anybody mining in our protected forest reserves or around water bodies, there will be no qualms about whether they have a license or not. But per the existing law, it should have been clear from the word go that that is an illegal activity, and whoever is involved will be dealt with decisively.
But you see, and it's interesting, a lot of us are curious to see exactly how the law will be spelled out, because, I mean, the mining mining happens in forests. It just happens that there are certain forests that the government says, well, as far as these forests are concerned, no mining should take place. But we know that mining happens in certain forests. And even mining in water bodies, there's alluvial mining which takes place, which is in water bodies, all right? So there is that aspect of it also. So I'm just curious to see the the wordings, the exact details of it? Because are we going to an era where alluvial mining is no longer going to be a thing in our country?
Yes, if that's what will help us, to stop Galamsey. See, destruction of our water bodies is a serious matter. And if alluvial mining can be eradicated or stopped, and that will help us to end Galamsey, so be it. But we will get to see the details when the bill is out, passed into law, and they will sit down on this table again to actually peruse and see the extent to which this will go. And then when I talk about regulatory reforms, I'm talking also about issuing about mining permits. Between 2017 and 2024, Minerals Commission officials sat in Accra and issued about 2,100 mining licenses to people that are politically connected. At the time that Joy FM, to commend you again, we were all crying about Galamsey. We say senior party officials, sat on TV and brandished gold bars and talk about how rich they were because of the devastation that we took place. Today, the Attorney General is reviewing dockets about highly placed persons involved in the menace of Galamsey so they can be prosecuted. We have instances where people were arrested by NIMOS in protected forest reserves for Galamsey. And as they were brought to mainland, put in police cells, sent to the courts, then the court granted them bail. And then they were released back into the community. The following day, they are back into the forest. As we speak, there's a bill being prepared to be tabled before Cabinet for approval and then to be sent to Parliament to be passed to establish dedicated tribunals that will prosecute illegal mining activities, related crimes, or let's say people involved in Galamsey, to focus and prosecute them. Let's not forget about corruption within the enforcement arm of the state as one of the key reasons where we find it difficult to combat Galamsey. And that extends to the judiciary.
Yeah, one of the things we all agree also, and even the president, when he was in opposition, conceded to that the people in the pits, the people we continuously see being arrested, being paraded, as we have arrested 16 illegal miners, even the president conceded that this shouldn't be the target.
Exactly.
The real targets are there. They call them the kingpins.
Thank you. So how do we do that?
Continuously, it's these same individuals we keep seeing being paraded. The last time NIMOS was in, Aboso, and the people were arrested, were forced to eat with their dirty hands. They were cooking some rice. That is what we have continually seen over the years.
So this is one of the ways to safeguard against that, or try to unveil them and deal with them. See,
the question will be asked so far, which kingpin or how many kingpins beyond Wuntumi can the government point to that we have arrested this kingpin? This is a major Galamsey, funding Galamsey that we have arrested.
It is difficult because of they kind of shield themselves from public view, okay? But one of the ways the government is using, I think I'm just divulging a secret on TV, to understand who actually is involved in Galamsey, is to actually track the owners of the excavators and the shamfas involved. So you will recall that as we speak, over 1,000 excavators imported into this country are seized, quote unquote, in a way, at the place at our military camps. What are they doing to them? Now every excavator imported into our country will have to be registered with the DVLA so we can know who is the true owner. Then as we speak, there is a situation room at the Minerals Commission where about 800 of these newly imported excavators are actually going to be tracked, are tracked by electronic devices. So in real time, that's where you put the ignition on, we can see in real time where these excavators are moving to. So one of the regulatory reforms also is that now you can't just wake up and import excavators into our country. If you have a contract to construct for us a dual carriageway from Tema to Aflau, and therefore, for which reason you want to import excavators, you also need to prove that you have a contract and a license, and that is why you want to import these excavators. And when they do come to town, we will register them in your name, we will track them, and if they sit in the situation room and see these excavators moving to Takwa and Swayem, The next thing we'll do by click of button is to disable them.
But these trackers, as you say, if they are the ordinary trackers we all know, they can be tampered with. So you think the thing is in Kumasi, but it's actually roaming around. They can be tampered with.
Yes.
You know that?
Yes, they can be tampered with.
Yeah.
But once it's been tracked by us, there should be a means to understand, first and foremost, to pick the signal where it is heading to. If, for instance, you tamper with the tracking device is dysfunctional, then it's an emergency. We have to find it out.
So that is for excavators that will come into the country. For the ones already in the country.
For the one that is already in the country, we have seized hundreds of these excavators and shamfans. The shamfans are the water pumping ones that they place directly on the water river bodies, and which they use to wash the gold and then devastate the water in the process. Hundreds of these machines seized are donated to the Ministry of Agriculture to help us in food production. Are you getting me? And I'm of the view that we need to equally introduce a system where we should deploy more drones to target these machines in the forest. And let's not waste our time. When you get them, we should just destroy them. We should form a new drone brigade for the Ghana Armed Forces. And then we should use the fight against Galamsey as one of the measures to train them. Are you getting me?
Great. Let me come. So we'll further develop the point you're making. We'll further develop it. Let me just come to Senyo briefly so he can also have his first bites on this one. Senyo, let me come to you. You've been jotting a lot of things down. Let's hear from you.
Well, thank you very much, Isaac. Good morning to you and good morning to my colleagues. And a very good morning to the good people of Ghana and to my own people, the good people of the Volta region who are watching me this morning. A special good morning to the leadership of our party who are making it very great for everybody to come together as far as the rebranding, reuniting is concerned. I think that the process in making sure that we have our next flag bearer is on course. Again, I want to say a very special good morning to the good people of the Volta region that is within the youth bracket. A special good morning to all of you, those who are watching me. I salute all of you. I want to read from the book of Numbers chapter 35, verse 33 to 34. And it reads, "Do not pollute the land where you are. You shall not defile the land where you live and where I dwell. For I, the Lord, dwell among the Israelites." What it simply means is that polluting the rivers, lands through Galamsey offends God because he dwells amongst us.
So those who pollute the rivers, the lands, will not go to heaven.
Exactly. It's very simple. There is no ambiguity in this. Now, on the question there, you see, for me, I have tried as much as possible to ask myself a series of questions as far as the issue of Galamsey keeps popping up. Why do I say this? I say this because I heard my brother talk about the 5 pillars and all of that. But let me state emphatically that, first and foremost, we must note that the fight against Galamsey has become a recycle process. That there is nothing so new about it.
All the interventions government has been rolling out, there's nothing new about it.
You see, let's be true to ourselves. I've asked myself a series of questions as far as the fight against Galamsey is concerned. Because it surprises me that a government that has lost its own heroes, a government that, preached so much about the so-called Galamsey or the Galamsey menace, today they are tight-lipped, they are silent, and all they do is to give excuses. If it is not this, it is that. I am surprised that my brother sits here, a gentleman who leads the good people of the Volta region. You are leading the youth front, not considering the contaminated water that our youth, our young people are drinking. You sit here and you tell us that the president is giving some sort of assurance. I want to tell him that it is a big no. The president did not give us assurance. He gave us excuses. or he gave us excuse. The reason being that we were in this country when this same president, or the then flag bearer who has now, metamorphosed into president, he gave us sweet talks that when they come to power, within their first 120 days, the LI 2462, what did they tell us? So for me, when I sit on platforms with my brothers, I expect that they say something that will be more convincing.
But they said when Parliament resumes, they are going to present it to Parliament and have it repealed. So maybe it delayed, but eventually it is happening.
You see, let's be very truthful to ourselves. This Galamsey menace is at where it is because it has taken a political twist. Whilst the MPP was fighting the Galamsey menace, the NDC was rather in the trenches preaching to Galamseyers to continue with the Galamsey thing. Today, it is hitting at their face like a splashing water, and they cannot contain it. So all they need to do is to use PR to be, massaging the message, just to be massaging everything for today. When there is a crisis that we need to call people to order, we need to, go straight to it. The president is now calling for town hall meetings. He never understood that at the time there was the need for town hall meetings to be called. Today, he does not only call town hall meeting, he is calling it at the Jubilee House, where he once named as a Galamsey, area.
It's stakeholder engagement. Even President Akufo-Addo did that.
So what I'm telling you is that
he engaged the CSOs.
What I'm telling you is that,
and it's nothing new.
What I want you to understand is that the NDC has not helped when it comes to the fight against Galamsey.
What exactly is it that you want them to do that you are yet to see from them?
They must accept that they lied to Ghanaians. It is how many months now? When you talk about it, then people rush to you and ask you, it is less than a year. Why are you asking that? He just sat here to tell us that the president has the political will. If he has the political will, he should stop giving excuses that until he hears from the National Security Council. Didn't you know that there was a National Security Council when they sat on the fence, blowing trumpets, blowing horns, blowing jazz to us? They didn't know all of this.
You're talking about the issue of state of emergency.
Today, they are there. When you say then they want to, use vocabularies. They want to be using big grammar. They want to be sugarcoating words, doing PR. All the exercise they did recently by inviting the CSOs, it is an exercise in futility. I am saying this because I want you to identify what I'm going to go through with you right now. So far, the best intervention they claim they are doing is the task force, the NAMOS. Then they will tell you that they have formed blue water guards. Is that not it? Now, these are the so-called interventions they brought. Another one is they'll tell you they are tracking excavators. These are the interventions they've brought. Now, the question I ask is that, ask yourself, in the then government, when you look at what NAMOS is doing, how different is it from Operation Vanguard? Operation Gala Stop and then Vanguard. How different is it? NAMOS and what those people did, how different is it? Now, you come to blue water guards. Unfortunately, I was expecting them to even name it green water guards. But this gentleman, recently, there's a documentary from the Forestry Commission CEO saying that these blue water guards, they have been bribed. They are not working. They go and take 5,000 cedis and then they leave the place for the Galamseyers to operate. So the question I ask myself is that the same people who complain bitterly about the MPP's approach, they are repeating the same thing. I weep when I come on show to talk about Galamsey because after watching your video, I ask myself, so what if the young girl who enters that water get contaminated or get attracted to schistosomiasis?
What's that?
Schistosomiasis, you don't know, bilharzia. That is a contaminated water that you go into, and at the end of the day, it's infections. It's schistosomiasis.
So isn't this the reason why maybe we haven't been able to deal with the menace as well as we ought to? The seeming lack of consensus, that's why I made the point about, because when the Black Stars played at the Krasport Stadium on, I believe, Sunday, I mean, the vice chairman of MPP, Masaudu, was there. I saw the former member of parliament, name just skipped me, MPs were there, NDC MPs were there, the entirety of the Ghanaian public were there, everybody, hey, Black Stars. Nobody was raising any political questions about it. But here we are, it's the same tone. The very tone that the NDC had in opposition is the same tone MPP is having in opposition. There seems to be a lack of...
NPP will never play politics when it comes to the issue of the fight against Galamsey. Let that be put on record. We are only reminding them that the tramadol you tried proposing to us, that we said was not the best tramadol. We are now reminding you of the same tramol, that Abrantie, munji tramol, and take it. Now you are telling us that unless you go back to the producer of the tramol to now see the side effects, if this is not witch, then are you not a wizard? We are not playing politics with it. But what we want the MDC to understand is that they must first of all come to the realization that we goofed when we're in opposition. They must accept the fact that they goofed big time, because there is absolutely nothing new from January 7th to date. If you are able to pinpoint one and walk out of your studio, not even a single thing that they have done so new. So for me, I think that we must come together as a political party, devoid of the politics. Let us make sure that we all sign, just like the Peace Council do. Let's sign a pact that it is not going to be NDC MPP fact. It is going to be the Ghana project. That is the only way we can achieve what we want to do.
Matthias has been raising his hand. Then I can come to Richard, because Richard is looking at all of you and he's smiling. Yeah.
All that my brother is doing here is pure politics. Okay? If you have a dead horse trying to resuscitate his life, you lost trust with the Ghanaian people. So Galamsey, as we are all concerned, then you want to latch onto it and then more or less build or rebuild your relevance.
But it's not different from what we had Felix of Kwache do, what we had Sam Jones do.
Listen,
in fact,
in the book of
Minister for Education
he read from the Bible, and I want to read from the Bible.
But you do concede that you were equally critical as they are being on you when you were...
Even us in government, we are equally critical about Galamsey. Are you getting
So you're not surprised at all with what they are doing, aren't you?
No, the fact of the matter is they don't have any moral right to talk about this, because the mess we are in will cost it. It's the MPP. See, the Bible says in the book of Exodus 9:12 that, but the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not listen to Moses and Aaron, just as the Lord says to Moses.
Train him how to visit the Bible school.
We haven't. The entire nation cried to fight Galamsey, but as hardened as their heart was when they were in government, to the extent that it became a quasi-government policy that because we are desirous to be rich overnight, let us devastate the forest, let's destroy our water bodies, let's enrich ourselves, and let's eat and die. These guys behave as though there's another planet that when they destroy our water bodies, they enrich themselves through Galamsey, they can run to. Even in the dying moments, in the winter of their lives, the MPP officials were on campaign platform to say, we will not stop Galamsey today, we will not stop it tomorrow. The videos are there. You can see it.
But they had military men in the forest.
Hold on. The military men and MPP men put in military uniforms to protect their Galamsey activities.
But you know
unlike what is happening today.
Because if they say,
please, hold on. When you were talking, I did not intervene. I am saying
when
that
you lie, I have to correct you.
When you are saying that President Mahama is instead of promise is an excuse. What's the excuse? We see the state of emergency is required, just like international interventions in crisis. when there's either lack of political will or capacity of the state to intervene in a matter to bring about a solution. They were not interested in fighting the menace as President Mahama is or the NDC government is. I am telling you, about 1,400 arrests have been made so far with regard to the issue of Galamsey. I am telling you that high-ranking officials, whether MPP or NDC, just by an allegation that our national organizer and somebody else was involved, immediately the Attorney General wrote to Yoko to investigate them. That is the extent of the commitment of this regime.
4 months now. Nothing has come out of that.
And so if nothing is found, there's nothing can be done.
It's been almost 4 months.
But if indeed they are found to be culpable, President Mahama gives the ironclad assurances to the Ghanaian people that they will be dealt with. You are belittling the efforts that government has made so far. See, I said on a sister platform the other day that the day that our chiefs, our community leaders, our youth say that in my community there will be no Galamsey, that will be the end of Galamsey. When we talk of corruption as one of the driving forces of Galamsey, the corruption is not limited to the politicians alone. It is limited to the custodians, the true custodians. It is extended to the true custodians of the land, our chiefs, our community leaders, our youth. It is extended to them. That is why one of the first and foremost things that President Mahama is doing to engage in stakeholder education and collaboration is to engage these people, to educate them about the dangers of the menace. So that day, when our chief said that we will not, have you seen any chief and his community people demonstrating against Galamsey as we speak today? No, because what? They are all participating and they are all benefiting from it. And we are saying that, see, for instance, the few community leaders and chiefs that are speaking up against Galamsey need to be encouraged. And we are encouraging many more to join the fight. That is why education and collaboration is key. Now when we talk of the enforcement, are you trying to tell me, that with over 800 excavators and the champagne seized, that is not an enforcement action?
But that's
you just stop
before.
Hold on. Before we start this, you talk about the 9 months people moving into a forest reserve to go and apprehend Galamsey operators. Yeah. Who give them the intelligence? It is the blue water guards. You are here just hopping and puffing without evidence that the blue water guards that are trained, that have just recently been deployed, are bribed. Bribed by who? Of course. If Mike Tyson was able to sleep with a prison guard in jail, it is possible that 1 or 2 bad notes may be among these people. But that should not be reason to belittle the transformation that the blue water guards are bringing in terms of bringing enforcement.
I'm going to come to you. I'm going to come to you. No, I'm going to come to you.
Respectfully.
Okay, Richard, I should give you. Yeah.
He said he has not said anything. All he said over there is just jazz. He just blow jazz.
Jazz.
It's jazz.
That's interesting.
He just blow jazz because he has not said anything so meaningful yet. Let me remind you.
I mean, he's talking about the number of excavators.
I am telling you that
the number of
jazz.
people they have arrested.
You know how jazz is played? It is the same thing he has just done there. He's just blowing jazz. He's not said anything so meaningful because we've been in this country. His own leader, the president of the Republic of Ghana, he told us that what? They are benefiting from Galamsey during the state of the meeting the CEOs. What is he telling us over here? Now let me remind him. He sits here and said that, you see, he says something and quickly he tries to, come back to his right movement and say, he sits here and says that no traditional leader has gone on demonstration. Didn't I read from here? This alone is a sign of demo for you to know.
We are referring to what?
The town or not MC aiding Galamsey said by the royal family. Even when you go to our wing, the royal, the chiefs, they've written a letter that they don't want to see the MP, the Awin MP, Oscar Labi. He sits here, he does not even have the entire nomenclature of what is happening within the Galamsey jurisdiction. That you want to sit here and be blowing jazz. Let me tell you, don't blow jazz. Come and let me teach you how to play piano. You see, again, let him understand that his own national organizer, of which he works under, he has not understood his national organizer well. He should have learned from him and, out of shame, come here and keep quiet and let us
come to an agreement, a gentleman's agreement. He should not sit here and throw his weight about.
There should be no.
The national organizer made us understood that criminals and galamseyers brought the NDC to power.
Where did he say that?
I'll forward the video to your producers right now. Joseph Yamin has said it on another media platform that criminals and galamseyers brought the NDC to power. So we are not surprised. We as a political party, we are not surprised at all. We are aware that they were brought by galamseyers, and it is the same galamseyers who financed their campaign. For that matter,
where did he say that?
Where did he say that?
He said this on a different.
These are allegations.
Whilst I'm saying that, I'm going to forward the video.
Please share with us here.
I'm going to forward the video to yourself. And I want, if that will be played, I'll share it. If
it will be played.
Yes, I'll share it.
It will be played.
So what I want to say is that the fight against Galamsey is not playing jazz in the rhetorics and the recycling of events. The things he said, they are not different from what I enumerated over here.
I mean,
so he
Richard, let me just bring Richard.
I'm forwarding the video to your producer.
Respectfully, Ghana is caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, the rock and the hard place. We are caught between these two great people who are good in their own space, and they are very good. But you see, we are not discussing the crux of the matter. We are talking about one is what caused the devastation of our rivers and the forest. What is the present situation? What are we going to do to avert it from deepening and worsening? I think this is the three phases of the conversation. Now, the phase one is that we talk about political party financing. It's the root cause of our Galamsey menace. Political party financing is the root cause. Please take note. Two, the fact that you have thousands and numerous university graduates, technical universities, all manner of university students graduating, people go into apprenticeship, go to technical and vocational education, they finish and they are left to their fate because the country called Ghana, which God, I'm glad that all my brothers are quoting biblical verses. I didn't know they were all theological students who, at least today, they are quoting Bible verses for us. But then again, the issue is that if they say the devil finds work for what? The idle hand. Isn't that the case?
Yeah.
And everybody must survive. Isn't that the case? Are the youth of Ghana not seeing the politicians live like Arabian kings? Are they not? They are seeing them live like Arabian kings. People who were virtually nothing. The moment they start doing politics, going there, going here and there, political influence and connection, before you say Jack, they have made it. So now the youth are saying that we cannot sit aloof and go to bed hungry whilst the few are enjoying the state resources.
In fact, I came across a report that some 1.4 million Ghanaians are into that small-scale mining.
Because there is
3 million.
Over 3 million.
About 3 million.
And there is no joblessness.
Mining.
And then again, let me tell you, the Galamsey has an ecosystem. You know that. The ecosystem is that all these small communities, look, Banchi, when they cultivate cassava, okay, even getting a buyer for the cassava is a problem. Even those who want to come and buy the cassava from them, they are extorting them, they are exploiting them. They are giving them chicken change for the hard work they did in planting that cassava. That took about 6 months to yield. There are others who have planted corn, who have planted potatoes, who have planted pineapple, who have planted plantain. At the end of the day, we are not even able to do what? Give them an off-taker market, whereby they can be guaranteed that when I even grow something, there's an available market for me to make some appreciable or reasonable income out of it. So our mothers, our sisters who are in these communities, there are some who have even gone to learn hairdressing. Let us discuss this issue devoid of politics, sincerely. Others have learned even hairdressing, seamstressing, basic ability to buy a sewing machine or a dryer. They don't have it. So what do? They start to cook some small banku, start to cook some small wache, and start taking it to the Galamsey site to sell and make some money. So our women, that is why when you go to fight Galamsey in some of the communities, you see even women agitating, preventing the military from entering because they are also benefiting from the ecosystem. We have parents who are virtually on pension. How much is a pensioner's salary in Ghana today? So they are depending largely on their children to support them. And the children are jobless. So let us be mindful of the fact that until...
But regardless of these concerns, it is still no justification for illegality.
I'm coming.
Because it's the same thing that somebody would say that, look, I was hungry, why I went to steal someone's plantain.
I am coming because...
But that doesn't justify the criminality.
Yes, because stealing is actually enshrined in our laws to suggest that when you steal anything or even buy a stolen item, you are a culprit. Isn't that the case?
Yes.
It's today's case. If I buy a gold that is illegally mined, am I a culprit of anything? No. There is no law that will incarcerate me if I go and buy a gold that was produced by a Galamsey. So these are two different things we are talking about. We are talking about a life and a death situation where your river bodies, your forest is being destroyed with impunity. So you cannot equate it to the fact that somebody is jobless and he went to steal cassava. Therefore, when somebody is jobless, he doesn't have the locus or he doesn't have what it takes to go and do anything. And the Galamsey that they are doing, it is to them in their mind or in their mind of mind, they are not doing anything criminal. They are not involved into any criminal activities. It's about survival of the fittest. That is where Ghana has gotten to now. It's about survival.
And that's the point I'm making, that the fact that you're trying to survive does not justify you engaging in criminality.
Yes, but the case is that, should I die? Should I wait and die? And if I go and steal somebody's plantain, I can be jailed for 10 years. But if I take pen and steal from the state coffers, I can be agreed to do a plea bargain. Who does that? If I steal the country's money, plea bargain, I refund 60% and then I take 40% away. When I steal plantain, when I steal a fowl, you don't allow me to slaughter it and take part and give part to the owner. You jail me. So let us have a conversation.
No, I do appreciate your point about, look, beyond just going to arrest these people in the pits, it's important for you to...
And then the last point is that...
For you to look at the main reason why they are being driven into it.
Solve the problem, because you cannot have a wound, always plastering it and saying that you are healing it. You are not healing it.
Now, this is what I want us to do. I want us to listen to the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
This same rhetoric.
I mean, just briefly, let's listen to him, because that's a very important leg to the conversation. Because in all of this, it requires some resources. And I think, look, you need to listen to the minister when he says that, look, he's concerned about resources. Because if the minister is raising concerns about resources, all right, to fight this menace, then this whole back and forth about we want to fight Galamsey, if adequate resources is not provided, we will still be where we are. And 10, 20, 30 years to come, this menace will still be on our head. Even the president attested to the fact that, look, it is expensive. This fight is expensive. We need more resources. Listen to the minister if the sound is ready.
What do you say to people who say that the permanent deployment to these security zones is because we do not have the resources to do that?
We do not have the resources.
We don't have the money to be able to
deploy permanently.
To these now classified security.
We shouldn't be spending the money to do that. That's why I'm saying that these are all stopgap measures.
So money isn't a problem for the fight against Galamsey?
Oh, money is a real problem.
Okay.
Trust me. I've been telling the world. I've been corporate Ghana to come. For example, how? I mean, the whole Ghana budget cannot help reclaim 7,500 football fields. I mean, the last time I was checking, that's probably $10 billion. It's impossible.
That's how expensive it is.
That's correct. I mean, do you know how much it will cost us to even, treat some of these water bodies that we are damaging? That is why the critical priorities is to make sure that every Ghanaian who is engaged in destroying and polluting our water understands that this is really criminal.
How much have we had to spend so far on the fight against Galamsey?
Oh, I cannot.
Yeah, he said he can answer that. He can answer how much we spent so far. But he says, look, it's going to take in excess of $10 billion to be able to deal with this comprehensively. Reclamation of the land, dechemicalizing of the waters, etc. Well, I understand the video that you called for is ready now, so we can play it very briefly. And I'll just get final thoughts on from you guys. Then,
so have I landed?
I'll come to you. We just, then we deal with that. But I want us to also touch on the tragedy that happened in Kitty-Karachi. There's been some move by the Vice President. This is all. So, guys, let's listen to Joseph Yami. We need to clarify this matter.
Man, it's a criminal. I know. I'm not the one to tell me he's a criminal. But it is because of that criminal that you are a minister if you don't know. There are no power with us of holding PhD in theology. 2024, man, sorry, me and sorry, them. Just to let the NDC win. Power. So that's why it's a criminal. But it is because of him you are a minister. And I ever tenacity now genuine people to give them job in this country. Man is a wrong people. The person who is telling you is a criminal, no, say you are no one can minister. Now let me tell you, so our contract we say I'm a criminal, no, we be and we are say that. If that is the reason why you won't give that contract. But we know that's how I fight.
But that's why you are always in trouble.
That is the point.
You are always in trouble.
Yeah, because I hate. Say, Ubi, I hate it. I sit down and I wait. Nipa way. And then one says, "How are you, Galamsey?" Office, quality resource, record time in Ashanti region that the MPP couldn't manipulate the election. All this Kanama no way or a minor, and then NDC by why you. It's not since Manan Conquer. The machines now watching. Machine is good, go through the process and release for that person 2 months. Okay, near more story. So there's a huge discontent within our party folks on the ground. So you be a appointment and management because at least only said there's somebody who can talk to near means be near here. That is the reason why the two are very have moved to almost all the regions. And yes, even this year appointment, because you can somewhere where they but at least we're able to talk to them, the expectations, and your person may not get it, but that is not to say, there's a lot of time within.
So that's the video that Senyo forwarded to us, and he says that's the basis upon which he's making the claims he's making. So, guys, I want us to do one minute, and I'm going to be very particular about the time. Just one minute, so that we can move on and deal with the issue in Kitty-Karachi, because we need to find a lasting solution to it. The Vice President was there. Just one minute. Let me start with 1 minute.
So my 1 minute is just to buttress my point that political funding is the bane of our menace, because it is them who finance the parties to get to where they get to. So when they get there and you turn around to fight them, they will fight you back. Because at the end of the day, where did we get the money to support you? We got it from illegal mining. So I am saying it over and over again that I cannot know what variables we are using to measure the success against the fight against Galamsey. Is it the number of chamfans we have been able to destroy? Is it the number of people we have been able to arrest? Or it is based on the turbidity level of the rivers? Before we inherited it, it was 9,000. And in the past 9 months, based on the political will that my brother is talking about, that JDM has the political will, what is the measurement of his political will? What result has it yielded in terms of reducing the turbidity level of our rivers? Great. And then the forest that they have so-called claimed they have been able to reclaim those forests. What is the reforestation program? And then again, how much is government budgetary allocation to combat this fight against Galamsey? These are the key issues that we need to look at.
Do 1 minute for me.
So MPP, NDC can never ever win this war against Galamsey.
So thank you. With regard to that video just played, I cannot vouch for its authenticity, so I decline to comment on it, except to say that, yes, my brother talked about the ecosystem being one of expansive nature, and you also, and then the fact of the matter is about 3 plus or minus 3 million people are involved in mining in Ghana. That is why it's quite reasonable to demean government efforts at one of the 5 key pillars about providing alternative livelihoods. That is why it is important again to reiterate government's commitment that whilst laws are being passed to prohibit mining in forest reserve and water bodies, government is working with the UN, the World Bank, to resource the Geological Survey Department to actually map out the mining areas to be able to identify where proper gold can be found. Currently, as we speak, a lot in the Galamsey sector is about try and error. So they devastate entire line space and then they move. Part of the cooperative mining measures government want to institute is first and foremost to use geological survey to identify where the golds are or where you can find these minerals resources. And then they engage the community people through cooperative way to provide them the technical support that they need so that they can mine responsibly in areas, because we cannot stop mining in Ghana.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So that is one of the greatest ways that once you ban mining in forest reserve and on water bodies, you still help the people to do responsible mining through cooperative way. It is as a result of that sadly we lost 8 of our gallant men because they were going to launch that. So when you say there's no political will, there's no effort, that cannot be true.
All right, Senyo, please do 1 minute so we can.
Well, thank you very much. I am happy at least he cannot speak to the video because he's astonished because his leader is the one.
I cannot
vouch for it because
you've got 1 minute.
He's astonished about the person, the caliber of person making such pronouncement. You see, the first thing we must do as far as the Galamsey is concerned, first, the NDC must stop the excuses. They must stop the excuses. And they must also stop the carrot and sticks approach. Because the fight against Galamsey should not only be about carrot and sticks approach. It must be holistically approached, devoid of politics. I have said time and time that when it comes to the issue of Galamsey, I don't want to do politics with it. So I am saying that we must deal with this menace devoid of politics by coming to the table together as political parties, traditional leaders, CSOs, media, just like Joe is doing right now, the religious groups and all of that. Let's come together to form National Anti-Galamsey Compact and sign to it that this is what we want to do. We don't want it to be just for NDC MPP. Rather, it should be the Ghana project. I believe that with this, we can have a headway than today. If NDC say that, tomorrow MPP is saying this. So I am calling for a compact that will be signed, an anti-Galamsey compact that will be signed by all actors involved, traditional leaders, and all political parties, the media, the CSOs, and all of that. Just like the Peace Council has been doing. I believe that when we do this, we'll have a headway than what we are seeing today.
Great. Let's just get some updates on the tragedy that happened in Kittikrach. We know the Vice President was there yesterday. We do have the OT Regional NADMO Director, Jay Kwabena Foster. He's joining us via Zoom for a quick update on that. And then I'll just get the final thoughts of my guest on this matter and the best ways to resolve it. Just once again, the video, Joseph Yamin video, was the video that Senyo was referencing in making his point. We had to show it just like he requested. Anyway, let's go to the OT NADMO Regional Director now, Mr. Foster. Mr. Foster, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. We know the Vice President was there yesterday. We know some investigations have been ongoing into the matter. What else can you share with us as far as the latest on this unfortunate incident?
Good morning. Yesterday, the Vice President, she was here to support us to at least support the people who affected in the community, the victims. So we are grateful. I'll use this opportunity first to thank the Vice President for the great things she has done, and God richly bless her. Disaster management, it has stages, but where we are now is recovery stage. It's happened already. So what we'll do to support the people in the community? So we must to provide some relief to the people. How are we going to, the things that we will use to support them, the Vice President have gave us 600 life jackets, rice, soap, washing soap, and amount of 200,000. The Maritime Authority also supported us with 90,000 and the life jackets, rice, and we are hoping that they will be supporting the family more. But that one is not only thing that they provided to the community. They also assure that anything that will go on before the burial of the people, they will also support us in all.
We also understand that there were 8 people who survived the incident. I mean, what has been the arrangement for these people? How have you been helping them?
Yeah, the amounts they give to the community, they have allocated the victims and the people who are affected, and those who are also able to, they are able to rescue them. And we have a young baby with the half of a year or 1 year. The Vice President is she adopted the baby.
Wait, are you saying
we look forward that?
Wait. Just to be clear, are you saying that a 1-year-old baby was also rescued from the incident?
Yes. When we went there on that Saturday, that small baby was on the surface of the water, and they are able to rescue the baby. Yeah, so God is great. I can say that we cannot understand God. The baby was on the surface of the water, so before the rescue team get there, they are able to rescue.
Well, what about retrieval of the bodies? Have you done that yet? Or if not, when will you be successful in doing that?
Retrieving of the body from the all the bodies are in the mall now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Some are at Karachi Mall, some at Rara. Speaking to you right now.
All right, Mr. Foster, thank you very much, and thank you to you and your team for the good work you've been doing there. And we hope that you can get more support to continue to manage some of these incidents as and when they happen. Mr. Foster is the OT Regional Director of NADMO, and he's been joining us. And gentlemen, let me just get your quick thoughts on this very incident, then we wrap up. Let me start with the Senyo. Very, very unfortunate incident that happened in OT region. Of course, it used to be part of the Volta region, but now. Yeah.
I think there's a very sad.
Let's try and do that in one more minute.
This should not be about politics. It's a sad moment. Yesterday in the evening, I watched late news, and I watched one young woman who said her kids, the brother's kids, it's like just 3 of them, a whole family of about 3 different groups in one family. Their children are just gone, just like that. But one thing that I keep asking myself is, when such incidents happen, we always rush to them to comfort them. Is that enough? Because this is a very trying moment for them. We cannot say much. I will not want to talk about it much, but I think this is an incident that has been happening almost every
61
year.
people have lost their lives.
Almost every. It happens
since 2022.
Some years back as well. I think that as a country, we need to look at what we can do to help. And there's the need also for an effective education when it comes to the wearing of the life jackets, because I think that's what is missing.
Matthias,
but I empathize with the family and the good people of Oti. They are our brothers.
I have spoken about this, I think, a couple of occasions already, and let me reiterate my issue of condolence to the bereaved families and the good people of Volta North, now Oti. Yes, we are mourning with them, and pretty much after a few days, especially when they are buried, we'll all forget and move on with life. That's tragically how the Ghanaian culture around death now kind of like evolves like, and it is very wrong. And I stated clearly that yes, we thank our Vice President for going to commiserate to the family, for donating life jackets and relief items. But beyond relief items, are we waiting for another to happen? No. That is why I'm not very happy with the statement that comes from Ghana Maritime Authority, the more or less deferring responsibility to ensuring safety on our water bodies to individuals who have no negotiating power. These kids and the families who found themselves on the overloaded boat or don't have any negotiating power. So we expect that the government agencies responsible for ensuring safety on our water bodies should be up and doing. Same way that we regulate road transport, that it is mandatory to wear seatbelts for which you can be sanctioned. I think that every boat operator who operates this boat as a commercial entity should have a legal requirement to ensure that if you have a boat that carries 20, 30 people, you must have by your side 30 life jackets. That every passenger that boarded your boat, first and foremost, must be in that life jacket. I don't believe, for instance, if you are traveling from here, you are traveling from the island and you are coming to Accra as a passenger, part of your luggage should be that of a life jacket. No.
It should be on the boat should have it.
The boat should have it. The responsibility should be for the boat rider to ensure that they provide
Richard, just to start with that, let me
well, since you're giving me 1 minute, I'll divide it into two, 30 seconds each. One is that yesterday, we all mentioned the fact that government need to pay attention to such issues and to really sympathize with people because it's an accident. Just like we have our car's number, we do all the regulation check on the road, but yes, the accidents do happen. And if you look at where the accident happened, they use only boats in transporting themselves. So when accidents happen, we cannot blame them entirely that why should they allow a boat to sink, because that is beyond their control. But to support what my brother is saying is that the key thing is that there should be education and sufficient life jackets on each canoe that people will board. And then the last point somebody mentioned yesterday is that premise fuel, which they use in powering their outboard motors, they don't normally get it in their jurisdiction. It is limited in supply. So what that means is that is what constituting the overloading. Because when you miss one boat, it is difficult for you to get another one because most of them don't have premise fuel. So we plead with government to make sure they have sufficient premise fuel for the people. And then the last bit on that is that yesterday I was on my way to home, over 15 Land Cruisers headed towards Tetekrashi.
You were counted?
Yes, because they obviously stopped me. They stopped us to park by the road. You know, when they are coming, the vice president, there no bagger wire. You need to stop for them to come and pass. And then at the end of the day, 15 Land Cruisers. So you can quantify the fuel and all this. So let us always look at the preventive measures than when after it happens. So the last part of it is that tomorrow comes a big day. We are saying to all Ghanaians that tomorrow is a new dawn of a new political party. The party is not being built around Alan Kojo Tremantin. The party is a broad-based national party, a centrist party, which believes that everybody must be brought on the table. Now, globally, everybody is no longer going center-right, center-left. They are all gravitating towards the center. Because at the end of the day, you need to have a hybrid economic management model. That is the only way we can combat unemployment and all this joblessness that surrounds us. So tomorrow is an open event.
Where is it happening?
At Coconut Grove. 9 a.m. in the morning. If you want to associate yourself, you want to come and hear our vision, our core values, who constitute the leadership of the party, what are we bringing on the table? What will distinguish us from the other? Because now Ghana has gotten to the stage where we are prioritized kakistocracy over meritocracy. And kakistocracy will never help us because we are always...
So 9 a.m. at the Coconut Grove Hotel. You have to bring us... You have to bring us...
The way he's speaking, I want to believe he's one of the national communication directors.
Kakistocracy is killing it. Meritocracy.
Let's take some questions. Let's take some questions. This one says OP...
Communication director of our national
Director of Communication. OP Patriotic Voices, Glasso. Regards to digitalization, Bawumia incoming. Flag bearer for MPP 2028. Mr. Samuel Sako, the incoming MPP Eastern Regional Youth Organizer Labour Unions. Chiefs Imam Esra Show put pressure on Mahama and NDC government to repeal the LI on Galamsey and declare a state of emergency on Galamsey because Ghana Water Company are even finding a problem in the treatment of water for Ghanaians, with NDC gurus doing Galamsey with impunity, destroying our lands, water bodies, food crops, and the 24-hour economy. 3 shifts, 3 people for 1 job was 4 nights because they can't even pay nurses and teachers. Okay, a very long one there, but I was able to get some of it for you. Teacher Kojo says, Dr. Bawumia is very honest, humble, not corrupt, and very intelligent. Just look at the Ghana card he championed. Just one card serves multiple purposes, and it's amazing and unique. This shows how intelligent he is. Many Ghanaians have no idea how powerful digital technology can transform Ghana in the shortest possible time and increase revenue to make Ghana better. Dr. Bawumia is the only hope for Ghana today because the whole world is moving to digital and Ghana is behind. Interesting. Teacher Kojo from Tepa says, okay, I've read that. Okay, this is a different one. Says, Kwamena Acidity says, a team MPP does not have anything to discuss apart from Galamsey. That means NDC government is delivering good governance and a visionary leader, John Dramani Mahama. My regards to our Regional Minister, Honorable Charity Gardner. Interesting. Good morning, Joy Prime. Please ask the MPP man if I understand him. It means Nanado and Bawumia and all MPP people will not go to heaven. Interesting. He says 16 people perished on Oti River in Dambai. It's so disheartening and sad. And I also heard the canoe driver was 11-year-old boy. I think we should sometimes value our own lives more and stop blaming politicians in every situation. Was any politician standing there at the time they were crossing the river with that teenager? How on earth will you consider putting your precious life in the hands of 11-year-old whose sense of reasoning? Interesting. So you say it was debunked. That was debunked by who? Yes. Yeah, who debunked that?
Yes, like I said yesterday, I was privy to.
Because yesterday we spoke to the regional minister and we raised it to him. He didn't.
No, I think yesterday night. I think clarity has been provided further on that issue.
Okay, great. One of the key strategies for creating employment is to promote entrepreneurship. With the global economy rapidly evolving, traditional job market are often insufficient to accommodate the vast number of job seekers. By fostering an entrepreneurial culture, Ghana can empower individuals to create their own job while contributing to the economy. Programs such as training workshop, access to startup, capital, mentorship initiatives can encourage young people. Okay, interesting. That's another one. MPP is very angry. Okay, well, Hadi from Pickfarm said, Inshallah, the government of President Jeremiah Mahama will succeed in fighting Galamsey, like how he did in fighting Dumso, and no amount of propaganda by the MPP will stop that. Musa Abatwa says, anybody who fails to appreciate the remarkable effort being made in the fight against Galamsey is simply engaging in petty politics, he says. And Master Planner says, MPP has no moral right to talk about Galamsey, he asks. The arrogance of power by the NDC communicators is so annoying in less than a year. Today, you are telling us that it is the custodians of the land that can stop Galamsey. I want to know, was President Nanado a custodian of any land? He goes on to make his points there. Akonsi Gariba says, I do not understand why some politicians, Ghanaians, continue to trust the NDC government to solve the Galamsey menace in Ghana. In opposition, the NDC was in support of the state of emergency and the total ban of all forms of mining in Ghana. After months in power, nothing new has been done to ban all forms of mining, he says. And on and on and on. The Galamsey fight must be a gradual process if we ever want to address the issue once and for all, as stated in my article above. Well, so basically those are the messages we got, and thank you very much for staying interactive.
Richard, you read something about those going to heaven that are not doing.
Yeah.
But I want to say on your show that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Addo will be the first to be in heaven when it comes to the fight against Galamsey. That's what I want to say. That should be your
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Dr. Bawumia will be the first.
God willing, tomorrow will be there at the launch.
Yes.
Matthias, thank you very much for making time. And Senyo, thank you very much.